What's good, YouTube? DM here with the DM Network. Y'all, today I want to just kind of brush over a little bit of what was talked about in Bandai Namco's interview with the producers of Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. And before we get into all that, y'all follow me on the social media platforms. PSN ID is DMGaming5, Twitter at DMGaming5, Twitch at DMGaming06, and Instagram at _DM_network. You can also follow us on our Facebook page at Dmgaming06. Guys, join the over 9,000 hype squad. If you're excited for this game, looking forward to this game, enjoy hearing the content, click the subscribe button, y'all, and turn on the bell icon because we upload 7 days a week. On with the video. So, this was late. However, Bandai Namco today released the interview that they had with the producers from Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. Or from the developers, the producers, same thing. You know, it was them talking about the game. And Dimitri was there. This was recorded at E3, and I have a strong feeling this is what was supposed to have been shown to us before they had the power outage. And it was a very short interview. It was about 3 hours. No, that's not short at all. It was about 3 minutes long. And I feel like had the power not went out, we would have had a longer interview. They didn't say much that we didn't. Actually, they didn't say anything that we didn't already know. But there was one thing in particular that they pointed out that they talked about, and that was the sagas. The producer said that the game would cover the Dragon Ball Z saga. Okay? So, guys, the game is going to cover all the way through the Buu saga. They didn't say it was just going to cover the Frieza. They said it was going to cover the Z saga. And they also said that they were going to stay very, very, very close. Well, they didn't say very, very, very close. They said a different word for it. But they said that they were going to stay close, basically mirror the anime. So I'm hearing those things, and I'm assuming based off of what they said that let's see here. Let's that it's gonna go to the Majin Buu saga, and that we will be able to. I mean, of course, we would have to be able to play with some of the other things. The producer said, "I want to make sure whoever plays this game can really experience Goku's just sheer amount of power and strength and energy, so that could be an extremely fun experience for them." So, what we talked about yesterday with OP characters, sounds like here we'll be able to get pretty strong with Goku. And the boss fights is not that Goku will be stronger than them or you can't get stronger than them. But like I told y'all, there's going to be mechanics in the game that are going to make it difficult. So basically, you'll be able to get as strong as you want to with Goku. Now, I'm pretty sure there's going to be a limit to that, but because there's always a limit. I don't know. Hopefully, there's not a limit. I don't know. Who gives? Anyway. But it doesn't matter. Like what we talked about, especially in the comment section, even though you're strong, that doesn't mean that there's certain things that you can't get, that you have to get over. Because one thing people confuse with having OP bosses, it's not the boss's fighting power that makes them overpowered. And even the lady that they interviewed said this, it's the mechanics in the boss fight that makes them overpowered. And they talked about that as well in the interview. And I thought that was really interesting. So the developer says, so I'm constantly thinking about how to express this unique and exciting experience during the developmental process of this game. So, I mean, it sounds like some very, very good information coming out. And the other guy says here, so I think there are 3 major points that really make this game unique and stand apart from every other Dragon Ball game that's come out in the past. And he goes into dialogue about those. And he says the first thing being the idea of full immersion into the Goku experience as with the huge volume of content. And I told y'all, there's going to be a ton of stuff to do. And here is where it gets good. So the players will be able to follow the Z saga very faithfully to how the anime depicted it. And sprinkled with a few original episodes here and there that you have never known in the original Z story. Man, what? So that should be confirmation to everybody that the game is going to cover all the way to the Majin Buu saga, because technically that is the Z saga. Everything Z is going to be in this game. Now, as far as playing with other characters, like I told y'all, I believe that there are going to be missions where we're just going to have to control other characters. Now, gets confused whenever people say playable characters, because people look at playable characters as, when we say, are there going to be other playable characters, people look at that as, I can play through the entire game as Gohan, I can play through the entire game as Vegeta, stuff like that. That's not no. So in a sense of playable characters like that, probably not. They're probably not going to do that. But what they're doing to keep the game true to the anime is you will be able to control some of the characters when it's necessary, okay, for the sake of staying true to the anime. But I could be wrong. They could change it to where you could control any of your characters that you unlock in the game, because like I said, it had that side quest that said as Goku. So there are certain missions that I believe you will have to do as Goku to continue the story and stuff like that. But there are other missions that you can do as other characters. But I don't think that's going to be the case. I think they want to keep the focus on Goku as much as possible. But he did say, so the players will be able to follow the Z saga very faithfully to how the anime had depicted it. And sprinkled with a few original episodes here and there that you have never known in the original story of Z. And that's, hopefully those other episodes are going to be Goku in the other world and on Yard Drat. That's going to be very, very interesting to see that and get to experience that. So that's very exciting to hear that as well. He says the second one is the battle system, designed for this game to be an action RPG. I think most of the recent Dragon Ball games have been focused heavily on a PvP aspect, and he's true. He's right in that. I've told y'all we need a true Dragon Ball Z game, and it's tough to get one whenever we have to have balancing from PvP. He says, but as an action RPG, this game is going to be heavily focused on the PvE fighting NPCs and the environment aspect of the game. So heavily focused on the PvE. It doesn't sound like they're ruling out that though PvP stuff. But he said there's going to be a lot of fights that have what I would like to call unfair conditions. For example, there may be enemies that have like a barrage, or he talked about of key blasts or massive explosions that occupy the whole map. Or you can have boss fights where the boss just seems overwhelming. And a lot of these fights would definitely keep the players on the edge of their seats. So see, he's saying that, to make the bosses more powerful, it's not so much about their physical strength in the game. It's more the mechanics that they implement through the different fights. And I mean, from the way that he says it, you're going to have boss fights and you're going to have big time major fights that aren't boss fights. That is very interesting to the story of the game. Okay, so for instance, when we get up to Cell, for all we know, the fight against Gohan and Cell could be a side quest. It could be as Gohan defeats Cell. You get what I'm saying? It's a side quest, so it doesn't take away from the main game being focused around Goku. It's more of a side quest. So that would be a very good way to implement playing with these other characters in the story, because it still would advance the story. And before people say, well, that's not how the anime works, blase, blase. Here's one thing you have to understand about RPGs, and anybody that's played RPGs can attest to this. When you're playing RPGs, it is important. If you don't do the side quest, you're missing out on story content for the main story. The side quests give you more in-depth stuff about the game, the story and stuff. So, yeah, you definitely want to do the side quests. Okay. So that right there, let me see if we can. Yeah, that was that. So it is very interesting to hear him say that. But he says the experience of eating a meal with a table full of all kinds of food because he's Goku, the aerial exploration aspect by using his flying skills, as well as the talk with numerous different characters. All of these are actually going to affect how strong Goku can become. So it's going to be imperative that you eat. It's going to be imperative that you train and stuff like that. Now, Of course, Dimitri in this interview didn't ask questions like we are accustomed to, but it says here, so this is really a story and kind of an experience about Goku's infinite pursuit for strength. And that's interesting that he says the word infinite there. How infinite will this game be? You know, will we be able to get as strong as we want to? What is going to be the end game in this? Because, you know, that's going to be important to the longevity of this game. If there is no end game, this game, unfortunately, as good as it could be, it won't last if there is no end game. RPGs have end game. In RPG games, you have the main story and you have end game content that stretches it out further. What's going to be the end game, you know? Because they said that the game is going to be heavily PvE, but they didn't say it would be all PvE. Heavily means that it's all. So there could very well be a burst mode in this game that's separate from the story. I don't know. But they're not saying that the game is fully PvE, but in the other interviews with the other woman, she did say that they didn't go with there is no PvE for the game. They did say that there is no online for the game. So it could just be a translation thing, but the game's going to be PvE. So multiplayer, guys, I'm sorry. Not going to be multiplayer. Got to move on with that one. But that's cool. So that's pretty much the gist of what the interview was about. The important stuff that was said. Like I said, it was a very, very short interview. You can go check that out on Bandai Namco's YouTube channel. If you go through there, man, just drop a comment there, man. Let them know that y'all support the game. Let them know what y'all think about it. Do that in the comment section down here also. And hit them with that hashtag over 9,000 hype squad. You know what I'm saying? But that's all I got for right now. Let me know what y'all think about it in the comment section down below. Till next time, y'all. Thanks for watching. Peace.